in motion, burning weed by the ocean. She just wanna be noticed. All the haters keep me focused. City boy, I take notice. Coming back, I'm reloading. If you smoke like I smoke, then you high like every day. If you cry like I cry, you get money all kind of ways. And if your ass is a buster, me and you, we can't relate. Cause all these bitches is choosing, and these niggas just can't. I'm on that cushion, put alcohol. Oh, 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 yeah, I'm on that cushion. I roll them tight and let's take flight. Catch a wave, catch a wave. Dazing off with the city lights. Now it's time to regulate. Faded off of that potion. Palm trees and the ocean. Body moving like the ocean. I regulate and you know it. I need money out the colon. I'm the Mexican poet. So I keep my pistol on loaded. Shit can get a little swollen. Top bike and I'm rolling. Lemonade's what I'm rolling. 95 when I'm coasting. Can you picture me rolling? If you smoke like I smoke, then you high like every day. If you cry like I cry, you get money all kind of ways. And if your ass is a buster, me and you, we can't relate. Cause all these bitches is choosing, and these niggas just can't. I'm on that cushion, put alcohol. Oh, 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 I'm on that cushion, I'm on that cushion. I'm on that cushion.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Spot, DINGS&COS Radio. You guys was just listening to another brand new song from our boy City Boy Chico out in Miami with his song Caviar Coastin'.
That song was the shit. Makes you want to light
on the weed
one.
mix here pretty quick.
Right?
Let us know how y'all feeling that one up in the speaker chat and up on Facebook Live. Shout out to City Boy Chico, always showing DINGS&COS Radio
Yes,
love
definitely.
and sending us music, man. Definitely, shout out to him for that. Like we said, man, we got Grimmace in the building. He brought his boys LJ and Native King with him, and we got a couple more questions for him. Take it away.
Where does your name come from?
I get that a lot. I get that all the damn time.
Oh, yeah,
That the goddamn purple thing, the purple thing,
bro.
but.
I had to do it. Grimmace was dope, though.
Clowning.
But okay, so anyways, way back in high school, this one dude I used to go to school with, we used to just drink 40s in his basement and pretty much write raps and shit. And one day he just came to me and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna start calling you Grimmace now." And I told him that I was gonna do something with that shit. And I went ahead and looked it up in the dictionary. And if you look it up, the word actually means a facial expression of like disgust. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like it fits my views on the world and how fucked up it is
Like
today.
if you have a grimace on your face.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So I make motherfuckers remember my face, you know what I'm saying? But
That's what's up.
That's a cool story.
all right, so are we going around the room? Are we going around all three?
Sure, yeah.
Jay, how'd you get your name?
Man.
Let me find out because you're ill.
Dude, that hat is so dope, bro. Did you watch the game last night?
I didn't
It was
actually.
like 13 innings, bro. It's okay.
Oh, fuck that.
We went till like 1 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
My name somewhat came from my first name, which was LSJ, which the homie Shocker Tees gave to me. And then I just ended up changing it so many LSJs and shit like that.
Right.
And so I changed it to ILJ, which was the very first name I ever came up with. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to stick with it. And, I mean, there's some more ILJs out there, but I've listened to them and they suck.
Okay.
So
There's a
I'm
bunch of LJs.
I'm the real ILJ. I'm decent.
Is it
all right?
what's
What if you're the illest J?
I am the illest of the J.
isn't
Hey, illest white boy in Littleton, Colorado.
Isn't what the fuck is homeboy's name from ICP? Isn't his name LJ?
Violent J.
Violent
J,
J.
yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Violent J's whack.
Shows how
now.
much
He
I know
wasn't
about
whack.
ICP.
I was gonna say
I don't
know. Said it after them.
Native, how'd you get your name? Let me find out you're from Colorado, dog.
Yup, that's
Okay.
exactly what it is. Colorado, born and raised. My first rap name was Spyro Native. I don't know why. I was a huge fan of the video game Spyro, and I loved dragons when I was little, and I just felt like my rap was kind of similar to a dragon, I guess. So when I spelled it SPIROW, just to avoid copyright, because I'm not trying to play that game. But and then after a while, it kind of I beefed with a couple of cats, and we put out diss tracks, and we're doing a bunch of stuff that really wasn't needed, and I kind of just grew old of the name, and I kept the Native, and my mom, when I was younger, she used to call me Ozzy. Because my name's Austin. You tell anybody, I'll kill you. I'm just playing. But yeah, she used to call me Ozzy. Ozzy King is what she used to call me for some reason. I don't know. Shout out to my moms. But I kept the King. And the Native's always been for Colorado. I love Colorado. I'm from Sheridan. Grew up in Inglewood and Denver. And it was exactly what I wanted it to be. The Native was exactly that. Although I get sweated on my name constantly, and shout out to the homie Def DeVille from Dark Hyphy Music, because at least once a year he checks me, hey, tell me why the fuck you call yourself Native again, what tribe are you? And I'm like, bro, it's not like that. Neon white tribe, bro, we glow in the dark and we ride horses. But yeah, man, just the whole Colorado thing. If you look at my logo, I got the Colorado C inside of the G with the mountains behind me, so
that's what's up.
it's always been represented through Colorado. I love my state. A lot of people believe that you got to go elsewhere in order to get success and in order for you to get love and stuff. But I've always had a lot of love in Colorado, so I hold it down for the state, man, and that's basically where the name came from.
That's what's up. What's your message behind your music?
Message: smoke a lot of weed. I don't know. Mainly, it's just I do my best to write my life and just stuff that I've been through, and things that I know people can connect with. And I feel like that's mainly what music, when it comes down to, is for. Is just having an outlet. So that's basically what it is for me. Therapy.
Therapy. All right.
It is about connecting with who's listening to your music. So I try to make music for all sorts of different people. Like, my music is not just one type of sound. It's all sorts of different stuff. I have some pop sounding stuff. I have sad stuff. I have happy stuff. I just want to be able to connect with everybody on a different level. So, trying to send that message through music too is like, you don't have to stick to one sound to be great, like, expand.
Okay.
All right, so the way that I look at music for a long time is I went through dealing with group homes and dealing with bullying and dealing with just so many things. And for a long time, they, it was take these pills and they'll make you feel better. And for a long time, it was, talk to this counselor that's only going to be there for 3 months, and then they're going to leave, and you got to tell your whole life story to another one who's only going to be there for 2 months, and it just got to the point after a while, I took this shit called Abilify. And started hearing voices telling me to kill my sister. And after that, I completely was like, nope, I'm not doing the meds anymore. I'm not touching it, and I picked up a blunt and music. And since then, music's kind of just been my public diary, if you will.
That's what's up.
I love making music that I feel like people can relate to. When I was going through a rough time and when I was younger and stuff, and was going through all these things that were not a lot of artists that I could listen to that really like kind of touched on what I was going through. I mean, there was, you know what I mean, but it wasn't like big, like it was slept on, you know what I mean? That wasn't something that you did really. You know, it was cool to talk about your life, but don't talk about being molested. Don't talk about all these things, you know? So I was like, I got to put that into my music for kids that need that, you know what I mean? So they can get through it, because I ain't have that, you know? So by all means, man, use music as an outlet. I always tell people all the time, I'm like, even if you suck, bro, if you were the worst rapper in the world, if that's how you get your feelings out, man, do it. Put it on paper. You know what I mean? It's almost like writing a letter to somebody and not sending it. Right. You know what I mean? When you get it out, you know, there's times where I'll write stuff that I'm like, I can't put that out. My wife will beat my ass. You know what I mean? But I gotta write it, you know, because that's how I vent and that's how I portray everything that I do. It's got to be written down and put to a beat. You know what I'm saying? But I'm rambling, man. I'm out of here.
What other features or what other like stuff do you bring to the table just besides being an artist? Like, I think you were talking about merchandise and stuff like that. Like, what merchandise do you have? Are you signing these guys, or what do you bring?
Hey, this motherfucker is actually the one that, like you said earlier, the CEO. We got us, you know, the limited license. You know, so everything's all official. So. But I mean, basically what I'm trying to bring to the table is, you know, get the expansion out there and, basically just brand, you know, ourselves. And I feel like merchandise really does that. And like I said earlier, you know, it's like a walking billboard and it's just constant promotion.
Okay.
So, you know, I just started in the music, like I said multiple different times already. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of following in the same path as both Grimmace and Native, watching them do music my whole life pretty much. You know, I'm just trying to do the same thing they're doing with the merch and, you know, the promotion. And, you know, it's definitely hard, but promotion is probably the biggest thing I do. You know, I'm always sharing everybody's stuff, no matter what it is, unless, you know, I don't fuck with you.
right.
But if I fuck with you, I share it's your shit. But I mean, I ran into one artist who kept asking me for features, but wasn't willing to pay me.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, they'll do that. You know,
they do that all the time.
Shit, 2018 is the year of fuck you, pay me. Right. I'm not doing shit for free. If you ain't putting money in my pocket, don't even hit me up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because I pay out of pocket and do what I got to do to make sure that other people eat. So why would I not eat myself? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, as far as everything goes that I do, man, I'm really multidimensional. Like Grimmace said, I started Cypher Tank the end of 2017. September 19th, I went and got our LLC, the license and everything, and made sure that we were all
legit,
good and up to date. You know, I'm still young, though. There's a lot for me to learn. And thankfully, I got cats that are willing to work and learn with me. So that's really what it comes down to. The craziest thing to me, man, is that, you know, my very first ever local show or show of any sort was seeing my dude Grimmace live at the Roxy. My cousin Richie went and took me to go see him because they've been friends forever, you know. And I went and seen him live at the show. And then we kind of lost touch for probably about a year or so. And then we came back together, you know, and decided that, you know, we wanted to make something of our own. And that's kind of how Cypher Tank began, you know. So when I did choose a business partner, it was Grimmace, because I see how the dude moves, constantly moving, constantly working, constantly trying to get the upper hand, you know what I mean? And I realized that it's stressful and shit, but, you know what I mean? These cats grind. You know, and they're always willing to learn things. So it's dope, the fact that they're willing to take charge and learn those things, because, you know, you don't want to be a leader with a bunch of followers. You want to be a leader with a bunch of leaders. You know what I'm saying? And cats that are dedicated to the same thing. So, you know, LJ's taken up a little bit trying to learn how to do music videos with me. You know what I mean? We're getting into producing, getting into just doing because you can't be a rapper forever.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. You got guys like Eminem and Tech Nine and Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and all these cats that are still killing it in the game. And by all means, I plan on being 40 and fucking shit up.
Right.
But there's a time where you got to step back and either focus on producing or managing or whatever it is else that you're going to do to make sure that there's money in your pocket and you're still doing what you love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I truly have a passion for everything that I dabble in. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just passionate about music.